Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from cloudy, beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are fired up and ready for this wonderful Friday. You know, I really get excited on days that end with the three letters D-A-Y. Every single day. Love what Zig Ziglar said. What woke you up today? Was it an alarm clock? I hope not. Alarms are what you hear when there's a fire in the building. And alarms what you hear is when somebody broke in. He calls it an opportunity clock because if you hear it, you have an opportunity to get up and go at it. And if you don't hear it, you might have get up and already gone. So happy Friday to you and the opportunities that lie in front of you. Do you know that today can be a day that everything changes in your life? Today can be the day where everything changes in your life. Everything today can be the day that everything changes in your life. You know, we have this habit in coaching of challenging thinking. And what I love about the challenge of thinking is when a goal is set, asking the question, how can you do it in half the time? And when you have a deadline set, how can you complete that in half the time? How can you double your goal? How can you cut the timeline in half? Not can you, how can you? It's all in the language. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go through a quick 4-word process for those who are beginning a new endeavor, because I meet a lot of new real estate agents every day. Drive. What's your why? Why are you doing it? What is the real purpose? Because I have news for you. It will be hard. Whatever you do, it will be hard. There's going to be a challenge in the beginning. You take any new endeavor. If you want to sing, if you want to dance, if you want to play the guitar, if you want to play the piano, you're going to go through the 4 stages of learning. Unconscious incompetence. You don't even know what you don't know. Then you're going to learn a little bit about it, and you're going to be in conscious incompetence because you're going to know, wow, there's a lot that I don't know. Then you're going to move into conscious competence where you work your way through it step by step, talking your way through it. And then if you spend about 10,000 hours in that category and you haven't given up, quit, walked away, thrown in the towel, thrown your hands up, and blown it off, then you will come to unconscious competence and mastery, where it'll be a flow. And great things happen in that flow. And very few people flow because of what it takes during the stage of conscious competence. So drive. You've got to have the drive. What is the why factor behind you? The greatest question one of my sons ever asked me was, Dad, do you think you would have been as great a realtor as you have become if you didn't have the 7 of us? And I answered humbly, no freaking way. Every time your mom got pregnant, I said, need to make an extra 30 grand. Every time she got pregnant, need an extra. Every time she got pregnant, I had something in my head that said, boom. Good morning, Brother Greg. Good to see you here. Every single time Angela got pregnant, I flipped the switch in my head and said, 30 grand. Every single time. So I told him, no, I wouldn't have, because people are really built to push themselves just hard enough to when it starts to hurt. Just hard enough to when they get out of the comfort zone. Just hard enough. And the challenge and the trap for people who have any type of talent or natural gifting is that most people with talent and natural gifting will compare their success to their peers instead of to their potential. And somebody who thinks that they're firing on all 8 cylinders is actually a Ferrari that's never gotten out of second gear because they've never had a coach or someone, Morning Perry, that's pushed them hard, that has pushed them and seen what was inside them and brought it to pass. Drive. What is your drive? What is the drive? What is driving you? What is it that's driving you? And once you know what that drive is, now, baby, it's time you got to survive. You've got to work through and survive. Survive, survive, survive. You have got to survive during that season, and that's what it feels like. Survival, man. Survival of the fittest. It feels like the gazelle's running in the pack, and the lions are after you, and boy, you've got to survive. And then from time to time, you got to strive. You've got to push harder than you've ever pushed. You've got to work harder than you've ever worked. You've got to grind when others are relaxing. You've got to put in the time when others are pulling back. You've got to push farther, longer, harder to get through that season of that striving. And during that striving, it's much like the conscious competence, where you're really thinking hard about what you're doing. And ladies and gentlemen, get used to it, about 10,000 hours. You put about 10,000 hours into that time, then you may see some mastery begin to show up, and you have the opportunity to thrive. But thrive, boy, that's the winner's circle. Because thrive is now where you're in your flow. You're in Jedi. You are doing the thing you were created to do better than anybody else like you. Like Pastor Bill Johnson said, that I loved. He said, when you discover who God created you to be, you'll never want to be anybody else. Everybody else is taken anyway. He didn't say that. But I will tell you this, that if you will put in the time and you will put in the energy and you will put in the effort, there's a promise in my favorite book that says all hard work leads to a profit. Encouraging yourself through that season is absolutely critical, because that's when the dream can be stolen if the drive is not strong enough. And so, as Zig Ziglar points out on his scale, what we're looking at with Zig Ziglar is we begin with survival. You got to go from survival. You begin to move into stability. Then you have some stability, and after you've got 10,000 plus hours of stability, now you can move into success. And yet the pinnacle for all of us is the fourth stage, which few people rest in, and that is significance. Significance is when you now give back. What's your drive? Is it enough to keep you grounded during mastery? Only you can answer the question. Have a great Friday.